Hi everyone, this is Terry from Koala-Krafts, and again I'm just doing a voiceover. The WIP that I'm working on is a Diamond Art Club, the old shoe house by Dominic Davidson. This is a square diamond painting. It's 105 centimetres by 77 centimetres, 41.3 inches by 27.6 inches. This is quite a good diamond painting. It's very it's got a lot of confetti, so it's taking a long time to do. So actually now I'm doing a row of this in between each diamond painting I complete. Because of the confetti, it just makes it difficult to just sit and do. But that's running in the background while I talk to you. There's been some updates in relation to the Moscow murder case, the 4 Idaho University students who were murdered. Firstly though, there are some rumours that Brian was obsessed with Maddie, which was one of the victims and one of the first victims that was killed. So that's the rumour that's going around. It hasn't been proven yet, but as I say, that's just one of the rumours going around at the moment. There is a Brady-Giulio problem potentially in this case. This refers to a list that is usually compiled by the prosecution or police department containing names and details of law enforcement officers who have sustained incidents of untruthfulness, criminal convictions, candor issues, or some other type of issue placing their credibility into question. This is in relation to exculpatory evidence which can help Brian's case and could help with a get out of jail free card, essentially, depending on what the officer's wrongdoing was. For example, if it was, say, jaywalking, it wouldn't have anything to do with lying or candor, as they say, untruthfulness, or planting evidence or something like that, which probably would affect the case if that's what the officer was charged with or thought to have done. Apparently, at least one of the officers have been involved in misconduct, which could diminish his or her credibility as a witness. This could help the defence or neutralise the witness. So, as I said before, depending on what the thing was that this person was supposed to have done, that will make what difference in the case, or whether the credibility of the witness is, anyway, you know what I mean. It could mean something, it could not. We'll just have to wait and see what the issue was. Of course, the murder weapon has not been found. Who can say where Brian put it? He could have, buried it or chucked it in a river. I mean, he went for a long drive, and it was a long time before he was arrested, so who knows where it is. The evidence that has been released so far is the DNA on the button of the knife case or sheath did belong to Brian. A thing that I found odd about the arrest of Brian Koperberger, I can't say his last name, I'm sorry, that's why I keep calling him Brian. He was in his kitchen of his parents' home. He was wearing latex gloves and putting his personal trash into separate Ziploc bags. This could be a quirk that he had, germaphobe, etc. It just seems strange to me that you would do that. Let's put your trash into separate little plastic baggies. I mean, I just don't understand it. There was a lengthy list of items seized by the Pennsylvania police following a search warrant in his parents' home. Police, in that, the response to the search warrant lists that the police seized multiple knives, a handgun with ammunition, and a black mask from his parents' home. They also took a shovel, multiple Ziploc bags, hiking boots, and a wrench from Brian's vehicle. When the police DNA tested the family's garbage, there was no DNA from Brian. This could be because he used gloves for all his garbage. To me, it's just a funny thing to do. The black mask that was seized by police when executing the search warrant was similar to the one reported by the witness who saw the murderer at the time of the murders. So, whether he had multiple masks or whether this wasn't the mask at all, I mean, who knows? There should have been some blood on it, I would assume, if it was the mask that was used during the murders, because blood spatter around the place was pretty bad. So, yeah, I would say that there'd be quite a bit of blood. So it's probably going to be blood on the mask if it was the mask that he used. The former criminal psychology student is due to be back in court in June this year. He has not yet entered a plea. The house where the murders took place is soon to be demolished. But I got further information down at the end of this talk about that house. Police say that they not only traced his car to the scene, but they have also matched DNA samples to Brian. Another search warrant that was unsealed revealed that police also seized a flashlight, medical gloves, and his underwear. I just thought, taking his underwear would be a bit embarrassing if his underwear had skid marks on them or something else. That'd be quite embarrassing. In relation to his family, both of his sisters have lost their job following the murders. Both of his parents, because they lost their jobs following the murders because they were related to him, which I find is, I mean, I can understand it in one way, but not in another. I mean, it's not his fault. It's not their fault that he killed people. But then again, people are going to put them together. If maybe the brother's done it, the sister will do it. I don't know. But it seems, pretty unfair for their employers to fire them over this. Just because he's their brother. That'd be fairly hard. It's be hard enough as it is living with the fact that your brother did this, if he's found guilty, than not being able to get a job. That's got to be a terrible feeling for the sisters and maybe for Brian as well. I mean, who knows? He might have a heart somewhere. Just not sure where that heart is. And apparently his family is in a pretty bad way financially now because of this. The family apparently has not visited him in jail. Now, there could be a couple of reasons for that. Apparently, it's a long way for them to get to the jail, driving, or they could fly, which would be pretty expensive. And with the two girls not working, and I think they're trying to help pay for some of the defence. Well, at least at the beginning, we heard that they were helping with some reenactment tape or something. That could be over and done with now. But the cost of travelling to see him would be fairly expensive from what I understand. That could be one reason why they haven't been. Or it could be that they realise that maybe he's done it and they don't want to have anything to do with him anymore. They weren't at the court, as I understand it. So it'd be interesting to find out reasons why they haven't gone to visit him, or they haven't, or they've just written him off. Be interesting to find out which. You can still love a person, but hate what they've done. I mean, he's still a brother, but you can hate what he's done to the family, to the victims, and to the victims' families and their friends, and anybody to do with them, because they would be hurting. So who knows? But anyway, they haven't visited him in jail, so for whatever reason. There's several other search warrants will remain sealed. There was also search warrants to all sorts of different companies like Tinder, Reddit, Google. I just can't think. Match, I think, was another one. Oh no, Match is Tinder is part of Match. Anywhere, a food delivery service. For why they would have subpoenas for that, I have no idea. But time will tell. When this goes for hearing, and that's in June, unless it's pushed further out. We'll probably find out more information even before then, but the majority of the information will come out during the trial. I just hope they have the trial through a webcast of some description, so it can be watched. I think that would be quite good, a good one to watch or listen to. Idaho has passed a Senate bill to reinstate the death penalty bill. Therefore, Brian could now face death by firing squad if found guilty, and only if the lethal injection drugs are unavailable within 5 days of the death warrant being issued. Apparently the lethal injection drugs are very difficult to get a hold of for putting somebody to death. People don't want to supply it, apparently, thinking that their stuff is the one that killed somebody virtually. I'm not I don't like the death penalty, except in some cases where there is no way that the person accused of these crimes has done it. Like somebody would have to see them do it, or they had their blood all over them. They found DNA all over the person who did it, or on their clothes, or something like that. It's 110% that this particular person has done it. There's got to be an eyewitness or something that can prove that he was the one who actually did the crime. There's been too many people put to death where they found out later they were innocent or could have been innocent. And there have been quite a few of those in history. In history, so you have to be pretty careful that isn't the case. I know with we don't have the death penalty here at all. Here in Australia, that is. But I know there's appeal processes in the States. But when you're looking at somebody who can't afford proper legal advice or legal representation, I think I think you can sort of go down a slippery slope, because you're paying for legal representation that more than likely is court appointed, so it's pro bono for them. They're not going to spend that much time on the case. As someone who, you pay a fortune for. So I don't know. It should be, 110% sure that this particular person has done it. It is also now known that Brian stalked his alleged victim's home for weeks before the murders and kept multiple photos of one of the females on his phone. So I'd say that was Maddie that he had photos of, but that's just a guess, because the rumour was that he really liked Maddie. Excuse me. That he really liked Maddie. And so I'd say he was stalking the house and Maddie watching watching her movements and that sort of thing. And don't forget, everything said here is my opinion only. I've got it from surfing the interwebs and doing some reading. About this case, and I thought it was about time we had a bit of an update, or I wanted a bit of an update on what was happening with it. It was a disgusting thing to have happened, in my opinion. Excuse me. I don't normally talk for this long, so my voice is going. It's a disgusting thing to happen, and it's Anyway, my opinion is he's got to be sick to have done something like this. If he's the one that's done, Brian's the one that's done it. But yeah. New news is regarding the house. Most of the family members of the murdered victims want the house to be kept standing. Response from the university from a request from these family members was, in summary, The university will not meet with the family to discuss this, but they intend to keep communications at the level of correspondence between counsel, so between solicitors, which is, you know, ridiculous and cold-hearted and everything else. What the families want to do is, because of the Murdoch case, and they saw that the jurors went to the Murdoch estate, where they pointed everything out to them, where things were found, where the bodies were, things like that, and it came out with a conclusion that he was guilty. The jury also wanted to, the family members wanted the jury to be able to go on a view as well, a view of the house, of where things were, of where the people were killed, and all that sort of thing, hoping that they would get the same verdict for Brian, a guilty verdict for Brian. So therefore they didn't want the house to be demolished. The university will also request from prosecution and defence counsel a formal indication whether they have any objection to the demolition of the property as planned by the university. I think the plan for the university was that they were going to have it destroyed prior to the end of the semester. Now, I'm not sure when that is. I don't think it was very far off from now. They wanted everything out of the house that the families may want, and then the house destroyed. There's two things there. Maybe they should wait until the break in the semester so that the students are not at university to watch it come down. Or they leave it up for the jury to go through. It's hard to know. If there is any objection, I will ask that the issue be brought to the presiding judge for determination. Now, this letter was signed by KN, or this email by KN, which is Kent Nelson. He's the acting general counsel for the University of Idaho. I think the memo was a bit hard when you read it all. A bit hard on the parents. Where the parents just want to do the right thing and get the right verdict for their children, of course. So, yeah, it's hard to know. I'd say that a lot of people would like neighbours included. I think they would like the house to be pulled down. I think I would too. But then when you look on the other side, for the jury to be able to do a walkthrough might help for a guilty finding. I mean, who knows? Who knows what the right thing is to do? But I think I would like to leave the land, the house in situ, just in case they do want to go through it. It would be a very difficult thing to do, I think, for the jury, and for the kids that keep walking past it every day, and neighbours seeing it standing there all day might have something to do with PTSD for some of the students. But which is the right thing to do? Yeah, who knows? But anyway, An update on the shop, that'll be opening soon. As I said in the last video, I'm just waiting for the inventory to come in, and then I will start putting the shop together. I hope you enjoy what I'll have in the shop, and I hope you'll shop in the shop. It'll be Koala-Krafts.com or koala-krafts.com.au. They will be exactly the same shops. There'll be no different. I'll just be setting the shop up in one address and getting a forward put on it for the other address, for the other web domain address. But anyway, that's the end of this episode. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. I would ask you to subscribe and also hit the bell so that whenever I make any more videos, you will get notified that I have done so. I do have other videos to go. I've got an unboxing actually of one that'll be coming up in a couple of days. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this this video and this update on the Idaho murders. And I'll be looking forward to this one going to court and hopefully being able to watch it as well. I look forward to talking to you guys soon, and I'll say goodbye for now, and I hope you see my next video being healthy and wiser maybe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.